Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Matt and this is my BVL life, my dizzy, crazy vestibular life with a vestibular disorder. And today I want to talk about family visits. We got family coming in a couple of weeks. One of our children and her husband and her kids are coming, and then a week later we have another daughter and her husband and their kids coming. So it's going to be a busy 3 or 4 weeks in March and April. And we're looking forward to it. We love having them every year, but house guests with a vestibular disorder can be difficult. So let's talk about some tips today. How do you handle it? Note that all of these tips I'm going to give you are for extended visits, not for having somebody over for a couple hours for dinner. These are extended visits when you're going to have people living in your house for a week or 2 weeks at a time. And so I do have some tips and tricks. These all come from my wife. God bless her. These come from her and her observations and what she does every time we have guest visits. So the first thing she says, to prep as much as possible before the visit. So if there are things that she can do to simplify the visit before people arrive, she'll do it. If she's wants to have cookies for the week, she'll bake those ahead of time. She'll plan menus ahead of time so that she's not trying to make decisions and answer questions in the middle of the visit, and she doesn't have to come to me to make decisions as well. That just makes everybody's life easier. The second tip is to chat with guests ahead of time about the basics. And this is more for visitors that are coming for the first time. So one of our daughters and her husband, they come every year, and we don't have to have this discussion with them anymore. But our son doesn't come very often, and our other daughter, who's coming in a couple of weeks, this will be their first time here since we moved to this house in Florida. So my wife suggests having just a basic discussion ahead of time, just to let them know what to expect. Let them know how I deal with noise and how I deal with commotion and chaos and all that stuff. And to not only get them up to date with expectations, but answer questions. Both my daughters had questions. Well, what do we do here? And what do we do here? And what about this situation? And so just talking to them ahead of time, just to let them know what to expect. And also along those same lines, to set up just some basic guidelines. So like all of my kids need to know that their kids can't leave their toys on the floor all over the house, because I'll trip and I'll fall and knock my head. So one of the basic guidelines is, you got to contain the stuff, and when you're done, you got to pick it up. They also know that we can't have chaos at the dinner table. We need a calm meal time. So just those basic guidelines, nothing too terrible, nothing mean and nasty, but they need to know what to expect. All right, the next tip is to keep choices and questions to a minimum. So in other words, when things get chaotic, when things get noisy, that sort of thing, I really have trouble making decisions. I have trouble answering questions because my brain just starts working overtime and I cannot think. And so if there are questions that need to be asked, they need to be asked ahead of time before the visit. Or if something needs to be talked about for the day, then first thing in the morning before things start getting going, then we need to talk about it. So, once the day begins, keep the questions and keep the choices to a minimum. When it's chaotic, I can't handle a lot of choices. I need things to be kept simple. All right, the next tip, in terms of activities, my wife plans one activity per day that I can participate in. And it's not going to be a high demand activity. It's going to be one that's relatively calm and one that I know that I can participate in. And then I get to do things with the family. But then she plans other activities that I won't be involved in. And that's necessary because when we have guests, they don't want to sit around the house staring at the walls. They need things to do. And so she plans activities with them that I cannot do. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I can work and do other things when they're off out of the house. But she plans activities for them. So one activity for me that I can participate in, and then other activities for the family. Next is to set aside a place of refuge. And this may be difficult depending on your home. We have a very long and wide home, all on one floor. And the nice thing is our master bedroom is all the way at one end of the house. And that is my place of refuge. When things get too noisy or too chaotic, I just go in there and close the door. And the grandkids know that they can't come in without knocking first. And so that's my place of refuge. In our old house, we didn't have that. And so my place of refuge was the community clubhouse. I would jump in the golf cart and go down to the clubhouse where it was quiet. But a place of refuge is going to help if you have BVL or BVH. It'll help you when things get chaotic. And then finally, be flexible. This is probably the most important piece of advice my wife could offer. Be flexible. When you're dealing with a vestibular patient, you never know what's going to happen. Things get chaotic. I could have a vertigo episode, and then I'm down for the count. And so she needs to be flexible, and the rest of the family does too. All right? There may be more of these tips. I'll think on this, and if there are, I'll produce another video. But for now, those are my tips for having guests in for an extended amount of time. I hope this content is useful to you. I hope you like it. And if you do, please subscribe to our channel. Please like our videos and please share them. And I would personally be indebted to you. All right, we'll be back next time with some more tips and tricks living with a vestibular imbalance issue. Until then, be good.